Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hearthstone. So we need to win 5 games with the Shaman and Warlock and play 30 Hunter cards. Let's, I suppose, try to win 5 games casual with the Shaman or Warlock. Who do we think would win? A mech deck? Let's try it. So, I've got not a ton of stuff to talk about, and a lot of challenges to do. Particularly getting 5 victories is going to be an issue.
I am your nightmare.
Actually, I should have been playing this to begin with, shouldn't I? Because this has some Battlecry cards in it anyways, and instead of focusing on doing the Battlecry cards first in the last recording, I should have focused on the victories first. That's just strategy that I should have learned. I'm just gonna leave everything here. That was one thing. I was watching Crippen play, and I noticed he almost always was willing to burn 1 mana each turn to hold on to more options.
Powering up! Portals online!
So here I held on to this card to use it now instead of playing it early and then having him react to it, and I burned 1 mana in the process. I don't know if that in the end is going to prove to be the best solution. As long as they don't kill this guy, I can play this and kill this guy though. And then we can start discovering some more mechs. See what happens. Seriously, game.
What's the flight plan?
Then we'll just kill this guy that way. Capcom is yet again re-releasing Resident Evil Revelations, this time for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. This was originally a 3DS game for 2012, and it came out in 2012. And it's not like it's just this amazingly great 3DS game. Also, it's I haven't actually played it, but I don't think it was that great. I suppose since I have it, I should try to cover it, but I don't think I have time. Particularly as I'm trying to move into actually playing Borderlands. That's going to be an interesting turn of events. I'm going to have to just take up an entire time slot.
This time.
Why are people quitting? I don't know. But I'll take that victory. Did I really not play any Battlecry cards though? So yeah, very possibly my puzzle time slot is going to get replaced with a Borderlands playing time slot, because I can't really put it in the AAA time slot, because it's, if I put it in a AAA time slot, it's because Borderlands 3 is out, and then we have an issue there,
Your soul shall be mine.
and it just things are not lining up, and I don't feel like I can really do yet another time slot for no reason. And it's just a lot of games are coming out right now. It's overwhelming me. It's overwhelming a lot of video game people. Well, they won't say they're overwhelmed, but they've been playing more games than that. Like not Far Cry Primal, but Horizon Zero Dawn came out a week before Zelda, and in a normal year, those two games would have been 3 or 4 months apart. And ironically, the argument can be made that Horizon Zero Dawn is a more interesting and better game than Zelda, even though they're kind of different things. I'm never gonna play probably Zelda Breath of the Wild. Almost certainly never gonna play it. But it doesn't look like the Zelda I want to play. I don't want weapons with durability. I don't want open world things. I don't want all the elements. I'm glad I just played Darksiders instead.
What's the flight plan?
Let's see. Deal 2 damage to all minions. Let's see. So, yeah, man, I need to wake up. I've been trying really hard to adjust my sleep schedule and wake up early, and it's not really helping anything at all. This past week, while I have been playing Dirt 3, a lot of time also has been just spent on lying in bed trying to go to sleep for 4 to 5 hours every night. And I've watched a lot of Netflix instead. And see, that's the problem, is I'll sit for 3 hours and try to sleep in the dark, TV off and all that, and then after 3 or 4 hours I'm like, well, this isn't working. So then I'll turn the TV on, and then I'll watch 2 more hours of TV, and then I'll say, okay, let's try to go back to sleep again. And easily I can spend 8 hours trying to go to sleep before, in the duration of the 8 hours, I should have been asleep. And it's ridiculous, and it doesn't help. But it would only be worse if I was sitting up recording. And then, of course, there's always the possibility that through the recording, let's see. Let's see, what do I want to do? Let's go ahead and kill that one. Whenever this minion is healed, summon a 2/2 crystal. Ooh, does that increase every time it's healed? Let's move on. There was a new Friday the 13th kill animation trailer. Good looking kills for, he's Jason Voorhees, right? That's Friday the 13th. I know him by appearance more than by name. They're good looking kill animations, but it really made me realize I do not want asynchronous gameplay in my life at all. It's literally something I just don't want to tolerate. There's a major problem with asynchronous play, regardless of the game. And Friday the 13th is almost the perfect game concept for asynchronous gameplay, and it still doesn't work because the truth of it is, I don't want to play as a camper or camp counselor, whatever they are. I don't want to play as a teenager at all. That was an interesting trade.
Powering up. Portals online.
So yeah, at the very beginning of any asynchronous game, you're gonna have one person that wins the lottery and gets to play as Jason Voorhees, and then you're gonna have at least one person, but probably 3 or 4 minimum, camper people that lose the lottery and have to play as the campers. And I've seen nothing in their gameplay elements that interests me at all. I would prefer the Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th skin in Mortal Kombat. Honestly. At least there it makes more sense, and then you have 2 players playing as characters that are slightly interesting.
All realities, all
Battlecry enemy spells call.
I see.
And I think we need to kill this guy. And if we do that in this one's gonna die, and then this one's gonna die, and then attack, and then the turn. So yeah, I have no idea what the kids could do that is in Friday the 13th, or even if it wasn't Friday the 13th game. I don't see what they could do that would make the game interesting at all.
Are open.
All they're gonna do is run around, try to avoid conflict, and what? It's like hunker down, attempt to stay alive. Certainly. Let's see. So we've got to kill at least one of those characters. And then even when you're running around as Jason Voorhees, all you're doing is shooting fish in a barrel in a game like that. So yeah, I just don't see how the full team is going to succeed there. In comparison, if you were thinking of something like Splatoon, or any game, really, that's even moderately... See, I don't know what to do here. I should probably draw.
Job's done.
Like when you're playing any first-person shooter game where it's teams versus teams, that's very balanced. Splatoon is a childish version of that, certainly. There's nobody that's super powerful. You could think Left 4 Dead, where sometimes when you're playing as the zombies in Left 4 Dead, you get a very powerful version of the zombies. But that's kind of it. I'm about to lose. Yeah, but even in Left 4 Dead, when you get the tank monster, all the rest of the team can actually team up against the tank and actually win. I don't see anything in Friday the 13th where all of the group of camp counselors could, maybe they spread it apart in the map. Maybe they could work together and meet up in the center and take on Jason Voorhees and actually kill him. I just don't see that in that game, and I don't think that's the case. If there is an option to kill Jason Voorhees at least weaken him for a while, and that gets a lot of points. That starts to change the game a little bit, but not greatly. And I imagine even if you were gonna do something like that, you would have to either improvise or find weapons that are somewhat rare to find and would have to be randomly placed across the map. And see, the game as it's being depicted now doesn't seem like it actually is a competition or a fighting game at all. So, moving on, I suppose I can't really say that with the proper amount of detail that I would like to.
My greetings.
Let's go ahead and greet.
I greet you.
Let's see, play this.
I can ease your pain.
And then in return, YouTube apparently does not take down videos from trademark claims, according to what Jim Sterling posted a picture on his thing. Now he is in the fair use protection program for at least one video, anyways, so they may very well just be doing something special for him that they wouldn't do for other people. But
You're in trouble now.
But as it seems, it does seem that that is the case, that they simply refuse. And then the real question is that they say that they encourage each individual party to deal with that. And maybe that is something about the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, where the YouTube actually is legally required to do something more active with copyright claims than trademarks. Or maybe it's just that YouTube is has stupidly agreed to bend over backwards to copyright to big media so that they can make content ID and copyright claims and be treated better than they should be.
You're in trouble now.
It's kind of hard to tell, really, but I have to ask the question, why not do that in copyright? Why not say, well, we aren't going to take down any videos unless you really sue them, unless you really file a Digital Millennium Copyright Act claim and force and take it to court. Let's see.
As the master wishes.
I would much prefer that system, actually, because I know that on a lot of the content ID things, that most content ID, the vast majority of content ID claims, never get reviewed or get released, because they know it's true. They know it's fair use completely, and they're just trying to see if they can get away with things.
As the master
And
wishes.
steal money that they're not entitled to.
Job's done.
From ad revenues of very small YouTubers. In my case, like, I'm getting 60 cents a week. How many pennies per week are getting stolen away from me? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 6? Is 10% of my weekly ad revenue getting stolen away from me because of content ID claims?
Blessed be this honor.
It's possible.
As the master wishes.
Let's see.
Job's done.
So, yeah, it really hurts me for content ID. It hurts YouTube in general because there's people like me that have to continuously complain about it. Do I literally have only one card? No. Oh, but I did renounce darkness, so my entire deck is wrong now. And I would much prefer to get emails from YouTube saying we'd prefer you to settle this outside our system, so we're gonna just stay out of it. Give all 3 minions -3 attack this turn. Interesting. So now for 0 damage, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can heal this.
Job's done.
And end the turn. Moving on, since I'm not really doing a great job here. The Mass Effect Andromeda's recommended system specifications was predicted to run at 30 frames per second, 1080p, and then they came back and decided to say something slightly different there. Which is probably a good statement, because if Mass Effect 3 Andromeda is really running that hard that you can't even get 1080p 60 on the recommended system specs, then your recommended system specs are a joke. That's minimum system specs there. What is minimum then? Is it run it at 640 by 480 at 15 frames per second? Silence all enemy minions.
I can wait and fish all day.
I can see.
There we go, we got a victory. So yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda needs some tweaking, otherwise I'm afraid it's gonna be one of those games that doesn't run smoothly on anybody's computer. Let's keep playing, Gosh, time is running out. I already talked about Ferraria from Total Biscuit. He made 2 videos on it. I talked about it last recording. I made a video about this game called Ferraria. It looked like it might be a collectible card game that could possibly replace Hearthstone, but it didn't even have these audio or interesting looking pictures in it. So, like, there's a lot of things that were cheaper looking, and it was missing a lot of features in comparison. Hearthstone, for all its problems, and it does have a lot of problems, is a mature collectible card game, and even with the banned card list, it's still more mature than what we have here. And so keeping that in mind, like, I tried Ferraria, spent about an hour on it, made a video, was hoping to get a lot more, to have a better outcome there than just realizing that it wasn't going to work. But in the end, that's what happened. And I was also hoping to get more views, and I only got about 13 views on my video. I released it on the weekend, maybe that was a problem, but Total Biscuit released his video on the weekend too, so that shows, I suppose, a difference in if you do things like that all the time, or if you do it just random times. So overall, it was hugely a failure. It got me 13 views. I liked it back on Monday, and no new views yet. It's only been on my channel for a couple days, so maybe it will pick up, and maybe Ferraria will become a thing. And I tried to name it into something that would hopefully catch people's attention. Deal 5 damage overload. So, yeah, I really don't know what I could do to boost views just instantly. It really is just as race and chase. Just what in the world happened there? Should I transfer my minions? He's got 1 health. Let's do it.
Job's done.
Deal 4 to 5 damage to all minions. Interesting. See, that was the right move. Wizards of the Coast is making a D&D app to help you be a dungeon master. I think that's cool. I think it's also Wizards of the Coast. I could be wrong about that, but I think they own both Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons now. So this will be our last game. Yeah,
We must cleanse the sunwell.
it's a cool idea, but in the end, it's just a cell phone app to keep you playing the board game, whereas I would prefer the. Let's see. Let's do this. I was hoping for something better. And then that. I would prefer a Dungeons and Dragons style game on PC, but I think the second they do that, they pretty much kill their board sales. Maybe not, because people like actually hanging out with their friends and such. So I don't think it would instantaneously destroy everything there, but it would be pretty bad. But eventually a Dungeons and Dragons game is going to come out. It's going to work on cell phone, it's going to work on PC, it's going to work on consoles, it's going to have crossplay. 5 different people on 5 different systems are going to be playing their dungeon, because frankly Dungeons and Dragons isn't super complicated, nor is it super intensive as far as its needs.
Balance in all things.
Let's see. Give a 4 attack. Deal 3 damage.
Job's done.
There we go. We're still here, so I'll say the Full Throttle remaster has gotten a release date set for April, but no Steam. Linked just good old games, and that's gonna kind of suck, because that was a game that was on my list that I wanted to play, and if I'd have to buy it again on Steam, that would kind of suck, but not be terrible. But if I also, on top of having to buy it again, had to, I really need to figure out how to turn this off. Spend some extra time and turn off the crystal counter. I don't want it there, it's just, it gets in the way. Yeah, if the full throttle remaster doesn't come to Steam at all, that would be odd. Is there a better deal that Good Old Games is doing? I don't know. But that would certainly be awful. One of the things to mention is that since I started playing games on PC, I really haven't seen too many games not come to Steam that came to PC. There have been games that don't come to PC at all, certainly, but I haven't seen anything that has just said we're not going to be on Steam, only Good Old Games. The only one that really affected me is when I got The Witcher 3 for free by buying a video card, and I got a Good Old Game link instead of a Steam link, and that kind of sucks because now I'll probably end up buying Witcher 3 and all the DLC on Steam anyways, and maybe that was their plan all along. Speaking of plans all along, we still need to play 30 Hunter cards, and we'll do that in the next recording, and we still need to get 3 more victories. And then we also need to play some more Battlecry cards, but 9 more Battlecry minions. We can, at the very least in the next recording, get one of those quests done, if not all 3. And I hope that is the case, because I'm running out of things to talk about. I'm surprised I even made it to 3 recordings, and I'm rambling more than actually adding anything to this. That's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.